And welcome back here to Gamescom 2013. I'm Corey Dunn. I'm now joined here by Daniel Matros. You know, I've had the ability to talk to you there at E3, asking you a lot of great questions, mostly about the spectator mode. First, I want to thank you for all the additions that you've already added into the spectator mode, but also I want to talk to you really in great deal about competitive gaming and what we can see for the future. How's the insight going into it, looking at all these different types of game modes? So first, I mean, where do you want to start? There's so many different areas.
So first off, I want to thank you.
Oh,
I want to thank you for coming out to Germany.
Well, I appreciate the invite.
My voice is a bit flat right now, but thank you for coming out to Germany. Thank you for making this live stream awesome. Both you and Alex, I've been secretly watching when I was in the community lounge. I think it's really good.
I appreciate
Thank you
that.
very, very much.
Well, now I'm going to tear up. I have to put all this makeup back on.
Heartwarming moment. And then also a huge thank you to the team. I mean, look at our setup here. Everyone from marketing, PR, from our dev teams. Amazing job. It's a great experience being here. We got at least 200 stations set up in total around the Gamescom for BF4, and it's just great to see. Great to see all the fans playing it.
So let's go ahead and dive into some of the other game modes. Let's go ahead and talk about Domination. Can you kind of explain exactly how Domination works?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Domination is... sorry, I left my brain at home. Domination is a game that we brought out for Battlefield 3, first of all, for close quarters. And it's a tight, fast-paced infantry game mode, quicker than Conquest. It reminds you a little bit about Conquest Small. Random spawns unless you spawn in your squad, so it's very important to stay in your squad, keep your squad together, and just capture the points. And if you capture two out of three flags, you put the enemy on the bleed, and the first team that goes to 0 loses. So, but we just didn't want to do that. We've done an additional thing to Domination.
Okay.
So for Battlefield 3, this is what Domination was. For Battlefield 4, we put in battle pickups. And battle pickups are weapons that are deliberately overpowered. We place them on the battlefield, and you decide whether you want to trigger them or not, whether you want to capture them or not.
What are the other some of the other types of battle pickups that we can see? We can see right there on the screen. This is one of which it's a one-shot kill.
Exactly. So for instance, I mean, they're deliberately overpowered, as I said. They're spawned within a set time, so you have to keep on your toes. You have to catch that point as well. The one we have here on Paracel Storm is called USAS with the frag rounds, and then we also have the M83 sniper. It's a 50 caliber sniper, so it hurts.
It does hurt.
It really hurts when you get shot. So you just, it's a new dynamic in the game, and I think it's a very good idea.
No, I think it's awesome, especially the fact is, I mean, the rangefinder that's attached to it, as well as the zeroing capabilities, just narrowing down. I know that we had one of the players named Stan Press who hopped on here with the sniper rifle, and he just went to town. I think he ended up going 25. He got 25 headshots or something like that. We're talking at long distances, at like 1,000 meters out. Yeah. So these battle pickups, one of the things that I like about it, they're effective, but they're limited. Yeah,
they're very limited. And you have to be on your toes. You have to catch them. You have to grab them on the ground. And otherwise the other team will get it, and they will have a 50 cal, and it hurts. So, and also, we've gotten a lot of feedback regarding competitive gaming in Battlefield, and people want us to integrate esports in the Battlefield. And then just, what is esports? It's a big category of a fluffiness and a nothing.
Yeah, you and I are in complete agreement.
Me personally, I would call it competitive gaming. And if you look at esports and competitive gaming in general, anything you play online that has a set winner or a loser, that is a competitive game.
Correct.
Battlefield 3, ever since Battlefield 42, we have a set winner or a loser is a competitive game. Now, in that bunch, you mix in, you have spectator mode, you might introduce a demo recorder, you might do this and that in a game mode. That's what kind of evolves the competitive game into something that the public want to play competitively, and that it's shown on the big screens and the big arenas, and that's competitive gaming for me.
So that's a good thing, is the fact that you know about competitive gaming. Let's go ahead and go back to what you said to me at E3 that you had so much credibility at that point, is you actually know the reason why the spectator mode was initiated in the very beginning. Can you explain?
Yeah, so first of all, spectator mode, way back when.
Not this spectator mode, but just
when I was a little Daniel. Spectator was for anti-cheating. You had it for anti-cheating. I mean, because Twitch wasn't around. You couldn't stream. I mean, uploading videos
streaming was
wasn't
difficult.
there.
Well, not that. No, way back when it was just internet radio. That's where I came from. So
very young, Corey. Very young.
Little Corey.
So yeah, it's mostly for anti-cheat tool. And I mean, looking at spectator modes today, like the one we have here, we built this. First off, big shout out to the team. They're wonderful. They've done an amazing job with this. I'm really happy about it. So what we've done here is
let's go and hop into the game. We can take a look here at the spectator at the same time.
We thought about what people want to use spectator mode for. So they use it, for instance, for cinematics.
This is the first time I've actually shown this area off as well, just because I was keeping it competitive or keeping it just showing gameplay action. But this is the spectator mode all the way through.
So that's where you customize what you want to see in the spectator mode. So if you want to have the controllers for what cameras you want to take a look at, what free cam you're on right now, if you want to see which people you're spectating on third person and first person, you can do that over there. You also have the scoreboard you can include there, or the squad boards that you have on the sides. The squad boards are kills and deaths. We have squads from nothing to 64 players. You can, if you click on them, you go into their first person view. You can see if they're dead or alive, if they spawned or not.
One of the things that's been very beneficial for us here, just showing off Battlefield 4, is the fact that you also see what class they are, so you know whether or not they're an assault, recon, support, engineer, and that's been great.
Battlefield is, we have weapons. It is a weapon-based game, but it's more of a class-based game.
Agreed.
Because classes counter each other. So that's what we thought with the spectator mode. But yeah, we've done some improvements. We've changed the colors around to make it more noticeable what team you're actually watching. Your squad will always be green. And here you have the squad boards again.
Yeah, so again, we'll kind of show you different types of things for those that are really interested in the overall. So you've got the selection bar at the top, like we had mentioned there. We'll go ahead and turn that off and off for our purposes. Then also you can sit there and look at the squad list. If you have, depending on what you like, this is all about your flavor at this point. You can have it on or off so you can see how they're disappearing and coming back up, as well as showing the scoreboard so up at the top. So maybe for those that are really graphic intensive, they know what they want their graphics to look like. Well, you can turn it off. You don't actually have to have it there, so you don't have to worry about that.
Also, one really, really cool thing about Spectator this time around is the free cam is really smooth. You can really capture those cinematic shots. If you want to do panoramic shots, glide around, you can do that. If you're a big YouTuber, you want to do that kind of stuff. And then if you press V while you are in this view, everything is turned off. Right,
so you didn't have to go through the process that I just did. You didn't have to go through and turn everything off. And so here, we've got everything on now, right?
So yeah, exactly.
And so let's go ahead.
V now.
And so now we can sit there and say, I press V, and everything's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Press V again, and everything's back.
This is for all the people. We know people like to make movies for Battlefield. Ever since I used to make them in Battlefield 2. BF42 was before my time a little bit when it came to that, but look at all the amazing videos that have ever been done for Battlefield. We feel like this is the perfect thing for them, and a really smooth free camera too.
Well, that's one of the great things that I like about it too. So say we're really into a competitive match, there's a lot of great action going on. I didn't have my preset camera set up at a certain location, and I need to get into the action quick, but I want to use the free cam. I can sit here and go from this point to this point really quick by just as I went to my extra free cam zone.
So the 5 free cam setup, I mean,
so we can zoom around the map.
Looking at Spectator as well, looking at competitive games today, you can film a first-person game the way you want. You can film it top up so it looks like Command and Conquer, or it can go into first-person action or into third-person action. So there's multiple ways of broadcasting a match, and in my opinion, it's actually cool that all matches are not going to look the same, because people are going to identify with different camera setups.
So
I've
asked you this question before. I'm going to ask you again. You can let me know where we stand at this point. How many spectators can we have in one game?
Yeah, so we're around 4 right now.
Around 4.
Around 4, yeah.
And that's including if you have a 64-player server, you have 2 commanders. You can also have 4 additional spectators. Okay, just making sure, just clarifying.
And they don't take up player slots either, so you have 64 players on the server.
Great. I mean, so now let's just, there's a lot of different things that we can look at. Again, we'll go ahead and bring everything back up here that we can show. So where are we headed with Battlefield 4 competitively? What are some of the outlooks for the future?
There is a lot. So where are we headed? For glorier days. No, Battlefield is headed in a very, very good direction. As I said, I've been around since BF2, BF 1942, and that scene. I've always wanted to see competitive gaming in Battlefield. And I have one thing to say to all the competitive teams that are looking to get into Battlefield, it's get ready. Just get ready.
That's a good way of saying it here.
Just get ready. Get your teams going, get your sponsors going, get the game, because we're getting ready for it. What's he? Sneaked in there, didn't he?
I just went ahead and took off there. Let's go ahead and hop into a first-person view and kind of talk about it again. So you have the player's perspective. One of the things that I like about it as well, opposed to whenever you had this, you had the selection bar available, you could see here at the top of your screen who you were following.
Yeah.
When you turn off the selection bar, I like the fact that immediately we also know who we're still following by looking in the bottom right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah.
So again, just
you can also turn off the first-person HUD as well in the customized screen. There we go.
So now we can see
beautiful,
a very clean style to the game here from their perspective. We don't see all of the additional identifiers. There's no additional HUD there that you'll see in third person or 3D spotting, as it's been called before.
Yeah.
So again, just a lot of great things to use and kind of whatever your flavor is.
I mean, to be honest, we listen to the community a lot, and Battlefield 4 is definitely a game that is feature-wise shaped by the community. It's Commander, Battle Log is well integrated in console now, bringing out Spectator, bringing out these dynamic maps. We're totally geared for the future. We're looking really, really good right now, and in my opinion, I'm still a fan. I'm a producer today, but I'm still a fan, and I love playing Battlefield.
So let's really talk about competitive gaming now. So how do you envision the right number of players to make it that glory, the stage, the big screens, the commentators, everything? What is the perfect number base? This is always a question that I have, especially for a game like Battlefield. You know, what is the right numbers? Is it 8v8? Is it 5v5?
So in my opinion, first of all, to make Battlefield competitive, or to make any game competitive, you need to have people who play it, obviously. You need a hardcore audience, not just a casual audience. You need people who want to learn more.
Hardcore in a terminology of saying avid gamers, not hardcore game mode.
No.
I know that I knew that may get mixed up between some, but that's again. All right,
you need to be a regular gamer. We're game regularly. English is now a native language. So you need to game a lot, and you need to. These are the people who are most interested in the game, the balance and the weapons, how your movement feels, and so you need that. You need a large number of players. You need a feature set that supports broadcasting, where you can broadcast really, really well out. You need game modes that are fun, that are fast-paced, where the crowd is going like, this was the most awesome thing I've seen. You need that kind of stuff where the multiplayer game mode tells the story.
Exactly.
That's the thing you need.
This is where you and I can agree on. The fact is, kills are great, highlight reels are great. But whenever you're talking about an event, it's about the storyline, it's about character building, it's about just seeing an epic moment happen, where you have the commentators that explain this is what could happen, and it builds up that anticipation, and then from there, does it happen or does it not?
Exactly. So going back to the numbers, it's looking at the real world, man. IRL. It's difficult for teams to ship 16 people abroad. I'm
happy you realize that.
That's a lot of money, So Domination is tailored for 5 versus 5 and 10 versus 10. It's a very good game mode for that. And we listened to the community. We looked back at Battlefield 42 and all the way up, and talked to them, and they said 5 versus 5 is the best one for us. And financially, if you want Battlefield to grow as a competition, for if I'm a team playing Battlefield, and I want the team to grow financially. I want to be able to send the team around. I want to be able to be featured in these big arenas. I will put a 5 versus 5 team down. Not saying now that Battlefield cannot be played with a higher player count on different servers competitively. You can still do that. You can still play. You can still play on other modes. You can still play Domination with 16 and 16 versus 16. That's still fine. But in regards to what we've heard from working with big partners, working with advisors and all that stuff, they keep telling us that 5 versus 5 is good. So talking to the esports teams as well. So, but yeah, as I said before, you can still play 32 versus 32 big matches and still have prizes for it. That's perfectly fine.
Are there other game modes that we can anticipate that are going to be really
So we've got this other little game mode called Diffused. I can't really say too much about it.
You know I want to just dive down deep into this.
Yes,
right?
it is very interesting. I have a lot of fun playing it and testing it, and I know we're excited to bring it out. That's all I can say.
Man, give me a moment because I got to recollect my thoughts here because I want to dive
down.
Don't tear up. Yeah, any of the 5v5s always gets to me. I love the storyline. I think it's a great number because as a director, I also do directing for large events here or large events in the U.S. Not here, large events in the U.S. And so I'm really about character building, talking about a story. So really just kind of building up a player. It's very difficult to kind of build up a player amongst.
I think one of the good things about Battlefield going into the competitive aspects of it is that it's not only locked. You can do Domination is infantry only. You can still have big clan matches with vehicles. It's very dynamic. You can do whatever you want in a competitive aspect. You're not locked to anything. Spectator mode will be on all game modes. It's not game mode specific. It'll be on all game modes. It supports 1 player to 64 players if you want to spectate that. It's all around.
All right, so my next question that I have to talk about, this again, now we're starting to get into it deep. I know that a lot of, it's always a question, and whenever you talk about live events, is having the capability of having LANs, having that ability. Can you kind of give your perspective on this?
So, to having LANs and...
To having LAN capabilities with BF4.
So, LAN mode, it's a tricky one. We looked at it for a while, and releasing server files like that, it puts stuff in danger. It's easier to hack the game. It's easier to cheat. Crowd's going wild out there, Corey. That's for you, by the way.
Okay.
So, in today's infrastructure, everything is going cloud. Everything is going cloud these days. And with a good service support there is, with a good broadband connections there are, we don't really see it necessary for LAN. Pings are going to be fine. That's what we feel.
Well, no, you're right. So in the past, we needed LAN. We had to have LAN because the connections weren't there.
Mostly for me, when I played on LAN before, was because the connections were terrible.
Exactly.
You could have if you lived in Sweden 10 years ago, you had like a 70 ping to UK.
Don't get me started.
Now I live in Stockholm. I play in Germany. I have a 15 ping. It's nothing,
So that's one of the things. Again, I wanted to bring that out. I know people had the questions about LAN. I agree with you entirely. And this is a hardcore, avid, competitive gamer. That's my perspective, and I agree with you on. We're there. Technology is there where we don't have to have this LAN network. We won't have to worry about any players randomly joining into a game. Everything's password protected. Just hop into a game. You're good to go. So let's try to think of all the other different things that we can kind of talk about more about competitive gaming. Overall, though, I mean, you've taken us in the right direction. I think there's really nothing that's kind of gone out of tune that that doesn't really scream competitive gaming.
So to sum it up for the teams who are watching this stream, I know a lot of esports teams are watching this stream. So to sum it up, 2 competitive game modes, an awesome spectator mode, but not only for you guys, you have to share it with amazing YouTubers who will create amazing videos. And that's pretty much it for the competitive aspect. And as I said, Battlefield is very dynamic when it comes to competitions. You can play competitively on other maps, other play accounts, with vehicles or without vehicles. You decide how you want to play.
Yeah, something again for those that are broadcasters out there, or shoutcasters, wanting to know some of the other capabilities. One of the things that I really like, again, is the tabletop view and being able to maneuver around. One of the great things is you can double click on a location. So right here we have the attack boat. We see Bravo 9. You get that picture-in-picture view down to the bottom left-hand side. You can either double-click or hit your first-person view. I like to double-click, hopping directly in there into that first-person view. You can see how effective it is. Last thing that I would like to mention about the spectator mode, well, Bravo 7, 30 and 9. Let's go ahead and hop on board with them and see exactly the reason why. And this is exactly why. Again, you just having these capabilities to always find the action. I think that's one of the most difficult things. And this is a 16v16 game. We also have Conquest that's happening at the same time here at Gamescom. And that's also 32 versus 32. So hard to really capture every bit of the gameplay, and so it allows you to have that overarching, being able to see everything, and then hop into that individual gameplay.
And I would like to say this is something we are taking very, very seriously now. I mean, this competitive aspect of it, listening to players' feedback, and players, you know, people will ask for more features. We'll see what we do in the future. I say, like Lars Gustafsson, if you try to make everything, you wind up making nothing. You have to put, you can't distribute all your resources everywhere. You have to put all your eggs in one basket and you work from there.
Such a great approach.
That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned coming to DICE as well.
I mean, one of the things, though, that I love about all of the DICE developers is your passion.
Yeah.
And each one of you are passionate, not only just about the game, but also in your individual field and what you're really putting into the game. I think that's great. One of also the things to note, too, is that you're always trying to critique and make it better. I mean, every single day, I believe we've seen a new build, different changes to the game every single time that we've come out here every day at Gamescom.
I mean, coming out here, I mean, for two purposes. One is to give the crowd here at Gamescom an amazing experience. We want them to walk off and say, man, this game was really good. It had things I haven't seen before, like these huge waves you got going on over here. Like the dynamic maps we have, and you know, things that just go boom. People like that stuff.
Things that just go boom.
Explosions, I believe they're called.
No, I like things that just go boom is so much better.
We need that, yeah. Yeah, one is for the experience, you know, to let people play hands-on, to experience it for themselves, not just watch a trailer, but to maybe even reenact some of those moments. Other one is to collect as much feedback as we can, and then we've been walking around and we've been talking to the people who've been playing, talking to guys like you, and you're just collecting feedback on what to do. And
oh, they're making this way too easy on Bravo 12.
Wow, yeah, he fell like a sack of potatoes.
He's just shooting at whatever he can. That's his entire squad.
Yeah, I think he doesn't know that he's on his team.
They've been camping in this building the entire time. I think it's because the bomb spawns pretty nearby and one of the points, and so it spawned here last time, and so he's waiting for the bomb to respawn in this exact location.
He's firing at his teammates. I don't believe he really.
Well, these are not his teammates.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I didn't know it's the followers. See, good feedback right there.
It's your initial looking at the screen, and this is some of the questions that have been out there as well.
And I mean, color coding was one of the things at E3 that we took seriously, and obviously coming back here, I directly see now that we need to color code differently now.
Yeah, so and that's one of the things that I agree with, is that it doesn't need to be your blue and oranges, because that's what we use in game all the time. So it may have some purples and greens.
I mean, it's just about switching out colors. It's about trying different things out. You know, it's trial and error. That's what it is. That's how it is. How it is to make games. In the end of the project, you optimize, you make it better, you polish, and hopefully, you know, if you're really on your toes, you deliver a product that is outstanding.
So let's go ahead and I want to talk about this game mode obliteration for just a moment here too. So one of the things that I noticed immediately is once you plant the bomb at any of the MCOM points, it takes about 10 to 12 seconds for it to explode.
Yeah.
What was the whole purpose behind that? Why would you want to deliver something like that?
More gameplay, I guess. I haven't worked on obliteration, but from my point of view, it's to maybe diffuse it. Maybe have a team have the opportunity to diffuse it.
Well, so one of the things too, I think it's, this is what I was trying to mention earlier, is watching the way that players play the game. If the bomb plant, so 10 to 12 seconds is pretty quick, especially on these larger maps, these 16v16. One of the things that I was kind of getting to is if you make the bomb timer longer, so say 20 seconds, that allows teams to rotate and clash down onto that MCOM point way too quickly.
Then again, obliteration, it's a challenge enough to go and plant. It's not very easy. It gets very chaotic. It's a challenge enough to go and plant.
Well, that bomb indicator is with you the entire time. It never leaves the map. It's real time, and that jug is like this big. And so, one of the things is, Battlefield 4 G even lift. I mean, you can pick up those bombs and run around like that.
He lifts very well.
He lifts pretty well. So I think that's what that basically answers a lot of the great questions that I have for you. Is there anything else that you really want to get out there to the community?
thank you for all your feedback. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for sending us all your ideas. If you have more ideas, send them into the Battle Log forum. We'll take a look. Thank you very much for watching. I got one last thing for you, Corey.
All right, I'm ready.
I got a joke for you.
Oh no!
You ready for this?
I've heard you and your jokes in the DICE office, so let's hear this one.
Right, so what happens if you mix a dog and a telephone?
Mixing a dog and a telephone? I don't know.
You get a golden receiver.
Oh my God!
Is that not funny?
Did you read that on a popsicle stick?
No, actually, I Google it.
You
I
Googled
Google
it?
funny jokes and then I tweet them.
It's not on under a bottle cap or anything like that.
No.
Oh man, we need to get you some popsicle sticks so you can get some better jokes.
They're not bad, huh? All right.
Daniel Matros, thank you for hopping on here, showing us the spectator mode, talking about competitive gaming. There you go. I mean, for those that are avid gamers, hardcore gamers, if you will, they're thinking about it. They're paying attention there.
So
for Battlefield
4
4
teams, get ready. Get very ready.
Be ready, and we'll be back after the break.